It's another episode of the Star Rock Wedding Experts Podcast. Here with guys on the radio, guys not on the radio. Seth and Mary Morris from Seth Morris Photography, Emily Overy from Flowers Plus, Jenny Ralston from Star Rock Lodge, and Kelly Champlin from Sister Stress Free Planning Service. And we've been talking, the last episode was all about Pinterest and how Pinterest can be helpful for inspiration, but sometimes can kind of almost be maybe a hindrance a little bit. And after we got done talking, the conversation continued. So we want to continue that. I think we have some more thoughts still on this whole Pinterest deal, right?
We do.
Yes.
So
okay, Emily, come
on. So we were just, kind of talking about Pinterest and how it is a real helpful tool, and we hope that brides do use that to get inspiration.
So let me
for.
ask you this question then. What specifically can they do with Pinterest that would help you as a florist? Like, what would help you as a florist that they did on Pinterest that would,
It's nice to get some inspiration pictures. It's nice for them to have kind of a vision of where they anticipate their wedding, color scheme, and maybe style and design, but not so much specific flowers with specific colors with specific, things like that. Because flowers change. They are either a different shade or they may come in a different size or.
So if a bride brings her Pinterest pictures to you, then what's the next step in your preferred way of communicating? What's your next step with them?
So I always like to use their inspiration and then maybe bring some flowers out, have the brides kind of look at them so they can kind of see the different shade colors. Some of those pictures that they're getting off of Pinterest are photoshopped. Yep. Some of them have a heavy filter on them. So they're gonna look a lot different from the internet than they actually do in person. So it's reality versus expectation.
Yeah.
So I always like them to kind of see that and kind of know what they're getting ahead of time, to know that orange flower might be a little bit more of a yellow hue, or that flower is really heavily filtered, so it's going to look a little bit more burgundy than it is on a purple shade. So
yeah, that's a good point, because I didn't think of that. Like, we don't filter ours as much anymore as we used to, but it's still very popular that photographers like use saturation on their, or desaturate or whatever. Dark and moody is coming in, where like the colors are super dark and it's like kind of matted look, and that's not how it looked in reality.
Right.
So I can see where that's like you have this dream in your head of how it's going to look, but that's not what flowers look like.
Seth, you got something over there? Look like you were
about
to chime
it looked like you were wanting to.
Yeah, I was going to slide you over just a little bit for your microphone.
But also, I do have something.
Go ahead.
Like, that's another thing with Pinterest. Like, they for photos, they are, I wouldn't say, well, maybe trend setting. And so it's like everybody wants that photo, but then in 2 years that photo is going to be outdated because there's another style on Pinterest.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. As far as like what you put in your shop for flowers, or for ideas for pictures, or maybe even layouts for decorations for each of you, how much do you guys look at Pinterest and be like, well, that's the trend that I'm going to be doing and seeing a lot this year? So like, do you start to change maybe a layout or decoration in your shop or something? Or
a little bit, and I'll be honest, I don't have a Pinterest board. I don't do Pinterest. I believe our shop does. I have a girl that takes care of all that for us, but
it's good to have people, right?
I don't follow that because sometimes, like I said, it hinders our creativity.
I agree.
So I think with having that and constantly looking for that for resources, it kind of just stifles me thinking about like, oh, what can I do for this bride to make it more her style or more unique to her? But so yeah, it's good to have those as an inspiration, but let your professional be creative. That's always a good.
Because it could be stressful because they're like, I want this, and you're like, well, I've never done that before, so you got to give me time to be able to do that, and then you're pulling hair out trying to do that, and you're like, this doesn't work. How did this happen?
Yeah.
Well, and I tell brides, I limit how many Pinterest pictures they can even send me anymore, because I used to let them do whatever they wanted, and then I would be stuck to this list, like, okay, I need you from the back, holding your dad's hand, looking to the right, okay, now look up at the light, and it was just ridiculous. And what was happening was I was missing the actual moment that was happening by me trying to set up a picture instead of just taking the picture of her and her dad. So I've kind of steered away from a lot of that, and just like, I like to see kind of what they like, especially because sometimes it can steer me away from certain couples where I know I won't make you happy. But in general, like, I don't want all your Pinterest pictures. I just want to be there.
And I think we kind of went over something like that earlier too, about the difference between staged photos and captured or things that are posed and things that are just captured, and capturing the moment, and that's especially huge for a photographer to have somebody who can be in the moment and capture the moment as it happens, or let the moment happen and you're there to document it.
Yeah,
not,
but Pinterest
not
is-
rearrange the moments,
Right.
make it happen. So.
And Pinterest is mostly posed. I mean,
Exactly.
a lot of it is styled shoots.
Sure.
That's like not even an actual wedding day. So yeah, of course, nothing's been touched in that room because they didn't have anybody there.
You're
you know?
trying to say the
meant to be
model who's
perfect.
size
Yeah.
0 didn't get married?
Right,
Is that what you're
I
saying?
know. Sometimes they don't even know
Really?
each other. Like, it's really funny when they have styled shoots and the models don't know each other. I know that happens, but so a lot of those are not like realistic because it's not a wedding. Like
Yeah.
that was set up.
Yeah, most receptions aren't under an olive tree in Arizona. You know,
Right. Yeah, like outside ones where there's like one table
the
set
sunlight
up.
coming through, perfect.
JC, what you got?
Well, I just wonder how much of what we do is actually just managing expectations. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
a lot.
Like
A lot.
for
99.8%.
you know, because I mean, I being in the wedding industry with all of our clients, you know, especially even brides and grooms, even moms and dads, they all have expectations of what they want this day to be like. And so, and especially brides, they've been dreaming about this day since they were 3, And so coming up to this point where we're going to put this day together, they've got their Pinterest boards, they have all this stuff. And they want to see this stuff come and become reality. And a good chunk of, what I want to say what, we do, as experts and in our field, right, is just taking those ideas, taking them all in, and just essentially managing those expectations.
And kind of running with and if they use it for that purpose, like what we're saying, if they're using it for inspiration and they're using it to give their vendors kind of the feel of what they wanted without the actual specifics, I need this specific exact thing.
Right.
If you just let us use it as like, this is the feel we want for the decorations or for the flowers or whatever, for the pictures, I feel like we can get there and you'll be so happy with the end result as long as you have, if you let us run with it and not be overly controlling, I guess.
Well,
That's
not only
me.
that, but then you're unique. You're not a picture on Pinterest.
Right.
You're
Yeah, right.
something different, and it's created just for you.
And it's just you guys. It's not you set up to be this couple.
And managing expectations, I think it's our job in the industry as a professional when you're meeting with these couples to try and before the wedding, trying to set them up and make them realize, well, here are your expectations. Here's what we can provide. And there are some couples that know this is what I want and this is what you're going to give me, and you try your best to do that. And at some point you say, okay, well, we will do our best, But there's others, and you're not saying I can't do this, but you're saying, well, from our experience, this tends to work a little bit better, and you try and make them understand why certain things work. And why do we know this? Well, because we've seen it and done it a bunch. So that's why, we can try that. By all means, if this is the vision that you have for your day, we will try our best to achieve that for you.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, managing expectations, I think, is a lot of times trying to get them to understand what works best. So, and, odds are, sure, this is Pinterest and this is some staged photo, but this is real life and we've done this. So, and the difference between the two. So,
I think that's the difference too between hiring a professional too.
yes.
Because we've all done it. We all know, like, yeah, that looks beautiful looking like that, but in reality, you have to get a plate and a napkin and all these things on there,
Right.
so you can't have.
Oh, I have tried to design a floral arrangement before, and it was.
It's so hard.
Oh my goodness, it was.
It is so
horrendous.
hard.
It
And
was
just make
terrible.
it look like it's not like the ones that are like kind of coming apart, sort of. Those are even harder to make it look like it was put together easily. It's really hard. It's
Or
a good job, Emily.
staging the people outside, outdoors. Everybody always wants those perfect outdoor,
Yeah.
oh, I want the nature in the background, but then they don't take into the effect of, okay, at this time of the day, there's
Right.
flies.
Yeah, right.
Or the sun's going
Or the
down.
sun's
You only
going
have a
down,
certain window
or-
that you can actually take these
Yes.
photos.
Yeah.
So, all right, I think we're going to wrap this one up for our Starved Rock Wedding Experts continuation part 2 chat on Pinterest. But we will be back with another episode of a future Starved Rock Wedding Experts question and answer session with our Starved Rock Wedding Experts panel right here. Same channel, video, audio. Same bad time. I was gonna do that, and I'm like, can I say that? Is that okay? Same bad time, same bad channel. Out.